everyone, and welcome to the SUTV show as we look ahead to our game at Tottenham this coming weekend. Coming up, Carl Asaba and I will look back on the draw with Everton, we'll reflect on the summer transfer window and catch up with Ollie Norwood as we preview that game at Tottenham. Good to see you again, Carl. You well?
Yeah,
Enjoyed
really.
your 2-week break?
Yeah, it's been lovely, thanks.
How beneficial do you think this fortnight has been to Paul Heckingbottom?
Yeah, I think it's going to have been massive. Obviously, let some injuries get further down the line, but get more training and understanding how Paul wants to operate and his coaches want to operate for the boys that have come in.
And in terms of the games that we've played so far, have you seen a gradual improvement game to game?
Yeah, and not just, the style of play, obviously it's been good, but it's improved, and the integration of the players and the understanding's improved, but the fitness as well. We're seeing Gus is much further down the line. He's able to be more dynamic for longer into the game, and also Vinny, he's grown, but all the other players as well. I think the pre-season could have gone on for another 2 or 3 games for most of them, and the team really was, against Everton, they showed the end of the game. You're bringing on big subs, you're impacting the game, and you're pushing for the win.
And it was some start, wasn't it, for Cameron Archer?
Yeah, that's storybook, isn't it? That's the way every striker wants to start their career at a new club. Loads of hype, and everyone's saying how he is a goal scorer and he's going to change the dynamic of the team. And he's, that's a lot of pressure on the young lad. The transfer took a while to go through as well. That's more pressure. And then what an impact, what an understanding with McBurney. And it was just brilliant.
That partnership, it's early days, but it looks like it could be one that could be very fruitful, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've both got so many attributes. They're great strikers in their own rights. Seem to have a good understanding early doors because they are good players. But for me, it's now adding the competition in the striking position. Everyone's got to play well to earn the starting berth. You've got Will Asula, who's done great. You've got Brewster coming back. You've got Benny coming through as well, who's getting used to things and looking a live wire. So the competition is there. You have to play well to earn a starting position. But, as partnerships go, they look like they could be really, really outstanding.
And since that game, he's got another option in James McAtee, who was wonderful here last season. I'm intrigued to see how he fits him into the team and the dynamic as well. How do you see that one going?
Well, for me, I thought that was a wonderful signing on a load of levels. That James McAtee himself, he's a wanted young player, an attacking player, and we know when Man City earmarked him to come to us the first time was because they saw us being commanding in commanding positions, having a lot of attacking play, and it would benefit James. And for the player himself now to be coming to a team who everyone else doesn't strongly fancy, it shows what he knows and what he feels about the players, because he's not going to put himself in an environment where I'm not going to be able to show my attacking flair. I'm not going to, I don't want to be playing like a holding midfielder. He's picked this club, the group of players and the management, because he believes that it's going to showcase his abilities and he's going to be able to add attacking flair. So for me, I thought it was a wonderful signing to endorse what squad we have. It's the last signing we made, and he's looking at what's there, how are they going to help my game, and he's picked us. He had other opportunities in other countries and other teams, but no, this manager knows how to get the best out of me. The fans adore me. I know what the team can offer, and I thought it was a wonderful signing on lots of levels.
I asked the question on where you see him fitting in because he's gone with 2 up front. There's Harmer, who brings a creativity to the team. McAtee obviously brings creativity to the team as well. Do you see a situation where perhaps McAtee and Harmer could play as 2 10s, for example? Or do you see him in a slightly different role? I mean, what he does have now is great flexibility.
Well, I think it's more the options. How many times last season was the manager able to pick his favoured 11 week after week? So I think it's more, I've now got 4 or 5 really good options. During the match, the manager and the team will adapt the playing style. They may start with 2 number 10s and then after 5 minutes drop it that there's 2 number 6s, and it just shows that they're all adaptable. They're all very good players and comfortable on the ball. But going into the start of the season, I wasn't sure what the makeup of the team was going to be, because I love watching the last 2 years, because we're attacking and we try and score. And if you're watching the match and you don't think we're looking good, the manager feels the same, because he wants attacking football. And I was wondering that, well, we're going into the Premiership, it's going to be tough. Will the signings be more defensive and sit back and try it? No. All the signings have been positive. We want to score goals. We want to be attacking, and that's what it is. McAtee is as creative as there is out there, and it just shows the players that have come in, we're looking to play our style of football. We're more likely to win 2 or 3-2 than 1-0, and I love that in what's gone on, and it's going to be really positive for the fans.
I can't help but feel that if United had started the season with the squad that they've got now, they'd have more than the 1 point on the board that they've currently got. Would you concur with that?
Yeah, I think we would have won 2, maybe drawn 1 or 2. I think, but it's the ideal world. I would have loved the transfer window to end a week or 2 before this. I think everyone would. The economics of football now dictates that there's a pecking order, and you have to wait for one deal to happen, for another deal to happen, and invariably the lower teams down the pecking order have to wait to the end. But we got there. We knew we would. We knew we were going to have a really exciting squad. The manager has earmarked the players that he wants to play his style, and with everything that was going on, there was no way the owner and the board weren't going to back him. So we knew they were coming in. I'm really excited to watch this team now, and now they're fitter as well. It is, we've got some really, really good games ahead of us.
Illiman going obviously was a blow, and we've talked at length about his departure. However, what they seem to have done is strengthening other areas. His departure has paved the way for other additions that makes the team, the squad stronger.
Yeah, well, I think anyone who's watched Illiman over the last 2 years, trying to sign he's gone, let's replace him with this player.
You can't.
No. And Illiman's game was evolving week to week. Who knows what he was going to go on and become. And I would have felt if the manager and the owner and the board would have said, well, that's that player, and this is the nearest thing we can get to Illiman. I think that would have been a disaster. What we've done is, we've taken the money that we could get, we've wished him all the best, and we've all parted ways. It's good for us because other players will see, well, Illiman's come through at Sheffield United. From non-league, he's come through and they've developed him to this. So it's good on that side. And other clubs will see that, well, Sheffield United aren't unrealistic. They will sell at the right price. So it's good for players knowing that if they want a stepping stone, and this is a very big stepping stone now, the club's not going to be like a Tottenham where it's get in the way. And I think we've really brought in some exciting players, young players and good age players who, with our coaching staff and our training facilities, these boys are going to improve. We saw what Doyle and McAtee and Gibbs-White have done in these facilities. They've all improved. So these young players who've come in now, I'm expecting to just really take huge leaps forward.
Carl, for now, thank you. Now, you might have noticed that we released our documentary this week, which looks back at last season. I watched it all in its entirety this morning. If you haven't seen it, have a look, well worth a watch. If you're yet to have a look, here's a clip of what to expect.
Could be one of the biggest weeks of the season. Potentially one of the biggest weeks of players' careers, and potentially one of the biggest weeks in the club's history.
And now there's a goal mouth scramble, and it's all kicked off in the goal mouth.
To be honest, we just couldn't lose that game.
They will host Spurs!
You see the way the defence has been treating me all season, it's been brilliant.
Fired in the near post! The second penalty was a solid.
Start for Sheffield United!
The vibe in the dressing room was that we were going to win that game of football. There wasn't any sort of doubt in there.
It is a really entertaining watch, that. Go and check it out if you can. Now, someone who features prominently in that documentary is the Sheffield United goalkeeper, Wes Foderingham, who's just been named Sheffield United's Player of the Month. And statistically, he is, 5 games in, the best English goalkeeper in the Premier League. That's some going, Carl.
Yeah, brilliant. Thoroughly deserved. it's been great watching him the past 2 seasons. He's always come up with big saves at big times. As I said, he gave me my faith back in keepers after watching Robin Olsen, who scared me so badly. And he's made the position his own. You know, he's never made the manager need to look into the transfer market. The team, the fans, everyone, you know, they believe in him. Full credit goes to him from the penalty that Haaland missed. You know, his stature and the performances he's done for this season obviously precede him, and Haaland's had to go for the very corner and pulled it and hit the post, and that's because of the performances Wes has put in so far.
And he has been questioned at various points during his time here, but he always comes up with the answers, doesn't he?
He always comes, and it's his distribution. It's everything. You know, his all-round game is wonderful, and for me, it's he's not making big saves when we're 2-0 down or 3-0 down and there's no pressure. He's making big saves at important times where we've gone on to take the points or stayed in the game, and you can see that his teammates all, you know, they all think the world of him and they respond to him.
Yeah, and how important is it for back 4, back 5, whatever, to have trust in a goalkeeper like that?
They're able to take risks. They can go a little bit further forward knowing that, you know, Wes's sweeping's been brilliant this season, his distributions, and it just allows you to concentrate on your own job when you're not thinking, well, I've got to just, you know, cover this man. I think we saw when Egan was carrying the knock in the last game, there was an uncertainty around because do I need to cover for him? You know, is he going to be able to? But the defence, 99% time since, you know, the last 2 years, they completely trust Wes. He does very little wrong, and it helps their game.
Well, let's hear from the man himself, Wes Foderingham, who is Sheffield United's Player of the Month.
Wes, Player of the Month for August. How do you feel?
Pleased. It means I've done my job well. So yeah, very happy.
Some big individual moments from you and some huge saves in the opening games as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult league. We've played some good teams already, so it means I'm probably going to be called upon a bit more. So yeah, just pleased that I'll be able to do my job well.
Have you got a favourite one from them first few games?
Probably to say from Haaland, to be honest. I think when people see him clean through one-on-one, they think it's a goal. So yeah, pleased with that one.
And going forward now, aims just to start picking up some points?
Yeah, I think the performances have been positive. I think we've got better in each of the games, but we need to turn that into points. I think we've got an opportunity to do that now. I think the squad's in a better place. So yeah, we look to pick up a few more points in the rest of the games, and yeah, we'll be good.
Perfect. Well done, Wes.
And we've been joined now by Ollie Norwood. Good to see you, mate. You well?
Thank you. Yeah, really well. Really good. Refreshed.
Enjoyed the fortnight off?
Yeah, it's been okay. I think the first week's really good. At the start, you think, oh, great, we've got some time off, and then it's second week comes and the lads start filtering back in after being away with the national teams, and then business head back on and back to work.
So 5 games in, what's your assessment on how it's gone so far?
I know we haven't won in the league yet, but I don't know how you guys feel, but I think from the first game to the Everton game, I think we've improved every game. I do. I think the squad's got stronger. We've introduced new players into the club who, you know, Cam scores a double on his debut and introduces himself to Sheffield United very quickly. You know, we're getting Ollie Norwood back fit, who's a big part of how we play and how we do things. Bogle coming back fit, George being fit, obviously. You know, new lads coming in and getting the feel of what Sheffield United's about and what the demands are. And it's quite a new squad. There's still the core of the squad who got promoted, but you know, we've had quite a lot of new faces. But I think game by game we've improved, and I think we're quite unfortunate not to win the game here against Everton. I thought we were strong, and as we said just before then, it was a world-class save to deny us, and you know, he's a world-class goalkeeper, and that's why I'm sure a lot of clubs in the world want him.
Have you seen the belief grow within the squad, even in a short amount of time?
Yeah, I think we did. I think, you know, we went to Portugal pre-season, and there was a lot of young players on the tour with us, and you know, as players we're thinking, you know, we want to kick on. You know, we all do. We want to be successful. We get the squad together as quick as we can and give us a chance. And you know, we feel now that, you know, as a group, we've got a real good group, a real togetherness. And as I said, game by game, I think we've improved. And I think the signings, you know, Vinny, Gus, Cam especially, you know, they've hit the ground running. and they've started the season really well. And I think, as the games continue, we will get better.
How's the training gone with the new boys? Are they all integrating well? Are you able to train loads with Vinny and get an understanding?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, it's difficult at times because, like I said, this week's probably been the most we've actually had a decent group together because we haven't had that many lads away this week. So it's been good. I mean, I was actually delighted when we signed Gus because I always said to people how good of a player he is, and I haven't really enjoyed playing against him when he was at Coventry. So he's a really good player, technically really good, physically gets about the pitch, like a bit of nastiness about him as well, which is good. But as you get to know him,
people don't say it because people just think of you as a perfect baller. You actually leave your foot in a lot, don't you? You do.
No, you've got to look after yourself. I don't hurt people. I try not to hurt people. I've only ever had, touch wood, one red card in my career, so I can't be doing that bad. But no, I mean that side of the game, I think, not it goes unnoticed, but that's what's expected of you. To play for Sheffield United, sometimes some of Rob Hall's tackles, especially up and down these sides, get a bigger cheer than a goal when he empties somebody out, and that's part and parcel of being a Sheffield United player. And I think, Vinny's got into that straight away. You can see physically he loves that side of the game. Ollie Mack loves that side of the game. George especially loves that side of the game. And we always say when people come to Bramall Lane, they've got to come off and go, wow, I don't want to play there again. And
how frustrating has it been? Like, I think the team's up fitness-wise will be 100%. Like yourself, you had your injury so you missed a few of the games. The boys have come in and they're trying to get up to speed, and we're seeing you solving. With Vinny, you're on the matches and you're actually solving problems on the pitch. Has that been frustrating that it's come together so late, or?
Well, yeah, and as I said, I'm sure the manager would say the same. You want your squad together as quickly as possible so you can integrate people and teach them the way that we want to play and how the core fundamentals of what it is that our team's about, what we've been about. Especially since I've come to the club, this is my 6th season now, but the last 5 years. What we've been about as a group, what's got us success, where we've gone wrong, the season, the COVID season. I was just saying there to Owen walking across, it's like it didn't happen. It's like a distant memory. But the other 4 seasons have been really successful, and the foundations are built on hard work and that togetherness, and that's something that we've always had here. And the new boys coming in, the quicker they get up to speed, the quicker they integrate into the squad, the better.
Have they filled you with confidence as well? Because as you were saying, you don't want young kids on the bench, not being disrespectful.
No, because the level as you see in the Premier League now is, some of the benches, without naming clubs, but some of the benches the clubs have got, they're worth millions and millions of pounds, and that's the level that we're competing at. And there's no substitute, and we always say there's no substitute for hard work, and we've got to make sure every team that comes to Bramall Lane, and even away from home, we've got to take the game to them. That's just how we are as a group. That's our mentality. That's the manager's mentality. But especially here, we've got to make it really difficult for teams. And I think so far we at home, it's probably where we give ourselves the best opportunity. We come within 2 minutes of getting something off City, and then nearly get something against Everton. So I don't think City walked off the pitch thinking, that was a good, easy afternoon. I don't think they particularly enjoyed it when all comes on last half hour, makes it difficult for them, and that's what we've got to do to be successful.
How's your role? How's your role in the dressing room? Has it changed? We've lost Billy and Enda. Are you having to be more vocal?
A little bit, but I try to lead by example in how I train and how I do things. I'm not a shouter and a screamer. I'm not really one of those people. Try my best to help the new lads coming in, places to live, where the families to settle. I've tried to do a little bit of that, give them a little bit of advice on that side of it, and make sure they're settled off the pitch as well, because it's important. I've been in the situation where you move, albeit in the same country, but moving down to Brighton and being far away from home. We've just my wife, who was pregnant at the time, and then having a young baby. It's difficult, and it's difficult for families, and it's up to us boys who know the area and know the place to help them out and try and get them settled as quickly as possible. But losing Sharpie, that side of it, what the work he did around the dressing room, how he looked after the boys, and how he set the standards. As far as captains go, he's probably the best captain I've had the privilege to play with.
You've got somewhere to go now anyway in LA, haven't you? You've got somewhere you can stay if you want to
Well,
have a little
hopefully,
jaunt
yeah.
over to LA.
Yeah, he stayed at mine in the summer, so hopefully the favour will be repaired if I want to go and see him in LA.
Did you give him favoured destinations?
No, I mean, it's a great move for him. I was so pleased for him. You know, because you could see how much us as players, you get to know, not just as players, as people, you know, and what this place meant to him. And you could see the hurt, you could see how upset he was, how disappointed he was that was the end. And, you know, it's great now to see that he's gone out there and a big smile on his face and playing in.
Do you think that's probably the best move anyway, because staying locally it would have been, the wound would have been, this is a complete
agree.
different
And
change.
yeah, he can, like I say, it's like a new lease of life for him, I think, and, you know, he's enjoying life out there, and why wouldn't you? He's earned the right to go and do that. He's had an incredible career. But knowing Sharpie, he'll probably be thinking he can win the MLS now with them. That's the attitude he's got, that's the mindset he's got, and he'll want to be a success out there. And he scored 2 already, so he does what he normally does.
What would you say is the key for you, because you're now the all-time Blades Premiership player? What's the key in your makeup? What do you have any rituals or anything?
No, I think you've got to be the best, you know, version of yourself every single day in training. I think, you know, I've always been a player who loves being out on the grass. I take pride in training. I really do take pride in trying to be the best I can be every single day. And that's where I was saying about the leadership side of it. I try and lead by, you know, whether it be head tennis, I've got to win, whether it be, I'm not great in the gym weights wise, you know, physically you can see that, but you know, if we're doing a bike session, I've got to be the best at that. And it's just a mindset thing, and you set yourself little things, and you know, as the years are dwindling, like, you know, not that I'm coming towards the end, I'm not saying I am, but you know, into my 30s now, and I'm looking, thinking, you've got to make the most of every single day. It's the best job in the world. We're playing in the best league in the world, and you know, if you'd have offered me the opportunity to, at 32, to be playing in the Premier League, you know, I'd have snapped your hand off as that young 6-year-old boy, you know, set out with a dream. And you know, it's a real, as you mentioned there, to be the leading record holder for Premier League appearances for Sheffield United is something I am really proud of, and hopefully can add plenty more to it.
Before I let you go, one on Spurs. Thoughts going there? Obviously they beat Burnley, which is where you're from. Before the break,
all I've had to listen to this week was how good they were, which is, you've got a hiding coming. But no, I mean, never forget the first year we went there in the Premier League, and I know it was a different team, a different thing, but we were unreal that day.
Yeah.
I think that was
The
one of our
Lundstram
best
one.
performances, yeah. And
Yeah.
when VAR took 25 minutes, and then it was his little toe was offside, which there's the meme of somebody made a meme of Chris on the touchline, and it always cracks me up the face that he did at the time, and everyone's what's going on. But I remember we should have won actually that day. We should have won the game. The second one was COVID, but the stadium's incredible. I mean, it's one of the best stadiums in the world. But as you said, they've made a good start to the season. We respect them, but we don't fear them. You know, we'll go there. We'll try and impose ourselves on the game and try and take the game to them as we do. We don't take a step back. And if they're going to beat us, they're going to have to beat us by playing well. I'm working hard for it.
Good luck. Play well.
Thank you.
And you can
Cheers.
see more of Ollie Norwood because he has been a guest on the One of Our Own podcast, which is coming out very soon. Here's a quick peek though.
I went into Brighton on deadline day, and they're still messing about, but it's a business, isn't it, at the end of the day? And I remember going in and just saying, look, like, just rip my contract up. I'm willing to just walk away. Like, listen, just rip it up. I'll just walk. I've had enough. I can't do it anymore. I'm me. I'm out. No, we'll sort something. I was like, it's deadline day. I'm in Brighton. The nearest club's within 6 hours drive. Like, where am I going to go now? I can't physically. You're messing about. If nothing happens, you can go. And I said, I'm not staying here another day. I need to go. Like, genuinely, I've had enough. I'm stuck in a hotel room. I've got a baby. I need to get settled. You're telling me you don't want me. Like, just let me go wherever. Yeah, but we need. And I was right. Okay. Completely out of the blue. Nearly rang me.
Yeah, it was great to talk to Ollie Norwood. Look out for that podcast. That will be coming out in the next couple of weeks or so. Right, back to matters this coming weekend. The Blades back in action at Tottenham, who've had a terrific start to the season, 10 points out of 12 under Ange Postecoglou. And it does look, Carl, doesn't it, like finally Tottenham have got a manager who's going to be able to take them to the next level.
Yeah, he's done incredible. We all know they've got probably the best ground in the country at the moment. It's an outstanding stadium, noise is going to be there, and the manager's giving those fans a team that they can get behind. You know, it's going to be very, very different to what we faced last season. Still very talented players that we beat last year, but these are fired up in a different way. They've been devastating going forward, but they have also left themselves exposed at times at the back. So, you know, they play a very open football, an honest football. You know, that if you can come at them, they'll come at you, and let the best team win. So it's just it's another huge match for us.
I've had a few ding-dongs with Spurs over the last few years. I remember, the John Lundstrom VAR goal where he was judged offside by his big toe. Obviously here at Bramall Lane, just last season, beat them in the FA Cup. We took a bit of a pounding, I think it was the COVID season, lost 4-0. Okay. That being said, what do you think Sheffield United's approach will be? And just before you answer that question, I did appear on a Tottenham podcast earlier this week, and there seemed to be a feeling from the guys on that panel there, who admittedly haven't seen a great deal of Sheffield United, that we might go there and park the bus, as they put it. I refuted that. I said, I don't think United will do that. They'll have to be careful. They'll have to find a balance on how to play, but they're not going to go there and sit in for 90 minutes, are they? That's not what this manager does.
This team can't do that. You know, they're an attacking team. We've seen how they played against Burnley last year when they had 10 men. You know, they were so solid and so compact. They actually tried to go and win that match, and it's their attacking nature that ultimately allowed Burnley in, but that's their mindset. I thought they were brilliant the day against Burnley, the team where everyone's raving about, when we had 10 men. And the fact that if we wanted to go for the 1 point, I think we would have got it, but we actually went for 3. So I don't believe we're going to park the bus. Of course, you're going away at the best ground that's going to be packed with a new manager, and the wind's in their sails. They're playing brilliant. You're not going to be totally cavalier, but there's definitely going to be a game plan to score and to try and get the 3 points. You don't go into any match, especially this manager and this team. You know, we've never seen them try and nick a draw or go negatively to just limit things. They go in there with a mindset and an approach to win. I don't know what it is, and you know, the manager's so guarded with his teams, and he's not going to let anyone know. But what we do know is, they're not going to go to park the bus. Really tough task. Yeah. But you know, they go in every match they play, they're trying to get the 3 points.
And it's about performance, isn't it? I know everybody wants points on the board, but if they can keep the performance levels up like they have been since we've come back in the Premier League, as you say, it's got better and better and better. That's crucial, isn't it?
Well, the bit I was excited when we got back into the Premiership was, I've been waffling on about how talented our players are technically with the ball, and they've actually shown it in the 4 matches we've played with the ball. They're with their peers. It's not like they're playing a cup match where they're raising it. They're week in, week out, our boys can technically play to an advanced level in the Premiership. They're brilliant. Where I think we've been unlucky and unfortunate is some of the goals we've conceded. It's against you're used to playing against Championship opposition, so you set yourself out and you train, and what you do in training would have been good against Championship. Your backup 11, who you're playing against shadow play, they're not going to be a Haaland. They're not going to be of that level. So it's hard for Egan and Robbo and these to do the training to replicate what they're having to learn it again in match situations. So where we thought, well, someone was a yard off and the Everton goal on the next match they won't, because they're learning it in matches. They're not able to replicate the attacking that you're facing in training. It's really hard, and I'm just glad to see with the ball the boys are really good. Without the ball they're working hard, and you can only practice this really in game situations, and from week to week they've improved. You know, they were fantastic against Man City. You know, they've been fantastic. Unlucky against Forest. So the performances have been there. The points, unfortunately, aren't mirroring how good the performances are. But the fans, you know, that's a really important thing where the fans aren't feeling that, oh well, we're lucky to be in, we're in a false position. They're not. They know that the boys are playing well and they're fully behind them, and the fans' interaction with the team is going to be crucial this season.
Spurs lost their best player this summer in Harry Kane. Son obviously got a hat-trick in the last game. The big piece of business they've done is James Maddison, who seems to be a bargain at, what, 40 million?
Yeah.
If Sheffield United are to get something from the game at Spurs, might it hinge on how they stop or attempt to stop James Maddison from playing? Because everything seems to go through him.
But it's difficult, you know. We've seen if you try and focus on one player, that you're talking your Son, you've got Richarlison, you've got top players. It will be a full game plan where everything's got to be executed perfectly. You know, you can't switch off. I think the mental side of playing in the Premiership is huge. The boys, they cannot switch off. You can switch off now and then in the Championship and not worry that the ball's going to be across it. We've been a yard off 2 or 3 times for crosses. The balls are being pinpoint, the other team have scored. So the mental side is the thing. I don't think you focus. Of course, Maddison's outstanding. He's playing brilliant. But if you focus, we've got to stop Maddison. We've got Son will creep round. You've got Richarlison. But this is, we're talking about our team. We've got really good coaches. They haven't just turned up here. No one's naive. Everyone knows the game plan. They will have been working on it for weeks. You have scouts and people in the stands assessing what to do. And it's not just 2 days prep. This will have been prepped 3 or 4 weeks in advance. They will have known how the team are playing, how Tottenham are evolving as the way they're playing, and we'll try and combat it and assert ourselves accordingly. And it's exciting to see. It's really hard because we also know in this level you can play your best and you can get thumped and not be able to stop it because you're up against the very best players in the world. So it's exciting. I don't think the boys have showed an ounce of fear so far, and I hope it continues, and I hope they carry on the front foot because they've been a credit to us so far.
Well, earlier on we spoke about Cameron Archer, who enjoyed a terrific debut here at Bramall Lane before the international break. We're going to hear from him in just a moment. He's been speaking at the club's media day this week. But first, let's hear from the manager, Paul Heckingbottom, who's been speaking at the club's press conference this week.
Is it nice now in a way that compared to when you were going into the Crystal Palace game, you've actually got some tough selections to make now, as opposed to that game where it was, look lads, who's available?
Yeah, and from the bench game like that. So one thing you notice, and we've seen it in every game, you're looking at changes from the opposition's bench. And no disrespect to what we've had, but we haven't been in this position. You look at the changes that they're making, and look at changes we could possibly make. And we want that. We want those selection problems because it's not going to be the 11 that win the game. If we can become really clear and really good with our substitutions, our tactical changes, and almost, if you like, plan ahead for those in a game to let them have the most amount of impact before a game, is that a little way we can bridge the gap as well? So, yeah, I don't see it as selection problems. I see it as opportunities to help us get points.
You seem to have already started to develop a really good partnership with Ollie McBurney up front. Just how important is he going to be for you this season?
Yeah, very important. I think not just Ollie as well, but all the attackers. I think it's important that we have a good squad. Whether Ollie's not playing or whether I'm not playing, someone else can come in and do the job. So yeah.
So Carl, closing thoughts. Big game this weekend. You've never been to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I don't believe. Neither have I, so I'm very jealous. How do you see this one going?
Well, obviously it's going to be a really tough match, but I just think everyone should be buoyed with the amount of attacking options we've got and match winners. You know, a goal can come from a number of places on the pitch, and I think they will have been further down the line now. The fitness should be there. The understanding's getting further and further down the line, and what we all know is we're going to give our best. We're going to acquit ourselves well, and you're up against a world-class team. So you can play perfectly and still lose to something out of the blue. But I'm really excited to see, and I'm not worried that the boys are going to, not rise to the occasion.
Enjoy the hospitality. Most importantly, enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Fingers crossed for a positive result, and we shall see you again before the Newcastle game here on the SUTV show.